Hey guys, what's up? Lewin here at GarageBand and beyond. Today I'm going to show you something really simple, really quickly. This is something that I see a lot when I get projects from clients. Don't forget, I do mix songs for people and sometimes I play on songs for people. If you're curious about that, check out my website, garagebandandbeyond.com. There's a mixing inquiries page there if you're interested in having me mix or master or play for you. That's where you are going to find all that information. So, today, what I want to talk about is this one simple thing that I see a lot of people making mistakes with when they're using a compressor, okay? So this is a really standard problem, and I figured maybe it's time to make a video about this. So let's just listen to this intro because this is where you really hear it, I think. Okay, so that's the one that I did that's proper. Now here's the one that's wrong, okay? There's some. So I don't know how many, hopefully you're not listening to this through your phone or like your iPad or something, but you have a good set of headphones on or you're listening through your monitors, because that will make that difference a lot more noticeable than if you're listening through an iPhone. I'll just say this. Basically, here's what's going on, okay? What I see happening a lot is people using their compressor in a way to increase gain. So basically, if you're listening with your compressor on like this and you turn it off, let's solo this. Okay, then you turn it off and this happens. That is totally wrong. In no way, shape, or form do you want to be using any of your compressors as a gain increaser. There are other plugins that are used for that reason if you need to either give it more gain or less gain. And if you need it to be more gain in front of the compressor or less gain after the compressor, there's one plugin that everybody who uses GarageBand has, and I'll show it to you right here. This might be the missing piece of your puzzle. If you go down here and you go to, where is it? Utility. Gain, boom, it's right there. It's a typical fader thing, and you can increase it up to plus 24, decrease it to negative 96. So, if you recorded your signals too hot or too lowly, you can use this. I would use it before the compressor personally to help give it a little bit more on the way in. Not too much, but I would personally use it that way. The big deal and why you don't want to do this is what you lose by using the compressor this way. So what I'm talking about by what you lose is mostly a lot of the transients, because typically what you're doing in this situation is you're jacking up the input gain is really, really high versus, let's go to my file where it's more like 7. The wrong one, it was on 9. This was basically my the wrong example here is what I see a lot. People like cranking up the input, cranking up the output to get more gain out of their compressor, which isn't what you want to be doing with your compressor, okay? So now let's just closely listen to the right one, and I'll show you what it should sound like, and that's all correct? Okay. Let's go back to the top. So this is with the compressor on, and I'll turn it off. So all you're really hearing when it turns on is an increase in volume of the lower sections of the guitar part, right? And then a very, very slight decrease of the ones that are slightly louder, okay? You don't want your compressor to be doing any more than that, unless you're trying to create a specific effect out of your compressor, which if you're a more advanced user, you know what I'm talking about. If you really are trying to get that overly compressed sound, you might want to, you might be using the compressor more as a gain stage rather than just a typical compressor. However, for like the most, generic, for most uses, for most people, for most situations, you want it to be like this. You want to turn the compressor on and off and not be able to hear any real discernible volume change. That's the big deal. If you hear that big volume change, you know you're doing it wrong. So just bring the output down until you can on and off and you don't hear any volume change. Then you will actually be able to hear what the compressor is doing. Using the gain plugin that everybody in GarageBand has, using that will solve your problems, if you need more or less gain out of that signal. Now, I will also add that this gain control has the ability to invert the phase. So if you're using stereo signals or left and right, or if you're copy and pasting tracks, like this is what you want to do. You want to invert the phase in some way or shape. If you're going to be copying and pasting tracks, this is exactly what you want to be using to change the phase on that second track of yours. So it doesn't sound exactly the same. You can change the phase and get a much bigger spread across the stereo field if you change the phase of one of your two tracks. It's not exactly like recording in stereo, but it'll get you closer to that sound. So that's it, you guys. Pretty short, basic video today. I just wanted you to know that, you don't want this big volume change when you turn your compressor on and off. That's a big no-no, okay? As always, thank you so much for your support here on GarageBand and Beyond. Please hit the subscribe button. I'm really trying to crank this thing up to 100,000 views so I can get my silver play button. I've been doing this for almost 10 years, and I still don't have one of those silver play buttons from YouTube. I'm really, really trying to get that. And the people on Patreon who have recently signed up, and the old patrons and all that, you guys are freaking amazing, and I appreciate that support so, so much. The ad revenue here on YouTube is constantly on the decline for smaller YouTube channels such as this. So it is those patrons on patreon.com/GarageBand and Beyond who really are keeping this boat afloat. It's you guys and me. You guys are supporting the channel, and I will continue making videos. If you like the content that I make, check out Patreon. There's a link below and right in front of you right now. So that's it, you guys. Have a fabulous day and a weekend, and I'll see you on Monday with a new song. Peace.